Just
Hello and welcome to episode 13 of the Gamer 101 podcast. I always get this wrong when we go live.
oh,
I'm your host, Lukash.
is it already 13? I
Yeah, it
into
says
the
live.
description. I know, but I put to episode 12, thinking that we are doing episode 12.
No? Hello and welcome to Gamer 101 episode 13. I'm your host, Lukash. That is Pete.
Growing my beard. Welcome.
Does it film you?
Yes, it's picking me up.
Okay. It's usually down here at the bottom. I can see a little thing turning from me to you, and now it's just me.
No, right now it switched, or at least I can see it.
I can't. Whatever. So, welcome to whatever 13 episode. We got something prepared. There was some news, and it's almost all bad.
Yep, the gaming is really coming
Which is
to an
fitting
end.
for episode 13.
If you
Yeah.
are out there believing in the power of numbers, this will be a special episode for you.
Yeah, you have like 1, 2, 3. There's 7 puppies, so that's something. 1, 2, 3. There is 7 puppies.
There are 7 puppies. We are magicians.
Yeah.
Turn
Okay.
dreams into reality. So let's kick it off with our usual stuff.
Yeah. There was
What-
this Resident Evil demo.
There,
I-
I believe there still is available. I'm not sure if it was only for a short period of time.
And people lost their shit about it. Apparently, it was very good. I didn't play it.
Neither did I. But here's the thing: from what we have seen, it looked incredible.
I was a little confused when I saw it first time. It is a real remake. It's not like the one that was one, which had the same fixed camera angles and everything. This is a third-person
they
survival
actually
horror
put
game.
incredible amount of work to really polish it.
Yeah, you know what else they could do? Like release a new game with the same. So why do they think they can, when they release an old game but put it in this style, it will be successful? But if they release a new game in this style, it will not be successful.
Well, the way I see it, they are just using the excitement of the fans, and usually old stuff still works. So if you really want to evoke emotions in the people, you give them what they were playing and what they were enjoying in the past, and that will really make them interested.
Then why did they in the first place go away from this? This looked like this is the gameplay from 4, and then when they did 5 for real in whatever year, it was very action oriented, and then 6 was even more action oriented, and then they like, what are we doing with this Resident Evil? So they made this PT thing did quite well, and there's some indie games, Outlast and such, doing this first-person horror game. Let's do Resident Evil in first person. And it sold well, and now they're coming back to making it in third person? What are they doing with this series?
Maybe we should ask the CFO, which we will touch upon today.
Okay, do you know his name? Can we address him a message?
I don't have such information at the moment, but it's just a matter of time before we can find it out.
You know what I mean, no? Why don't they just keep doing what's working?
That's difficult, really.
Yeah.
You got 2 options. Firstly, they might be trying different stuff and see if it works and what actually works in terms of sales. And secondly, they are just really committed to rebuilding the old fundamentals just in the just to today's standards.
Yeah. I mean, this is great. I'm very happy that they're making this. I will not play it because I don't like horror games anymore. But I'm super happy for it that it's good.
Oh, you don't like games, so horror games anymore. So where was the breaking point? Which game made you lose interest?
Ah, that's a good question. The last horror game I played and enjoyed was Dead Space 1.
That was actually really solid.
And then I don't know, I just stopped playing horror games. I stopped watching horror movies. It is different when like I would play probably Resident Evil because it's not about the gore, it's about the atmosphere.
Yep, true.
Okay, you know, we'll see. But and we spoke about if you can beat it in 30 in the 30 minutes, like the whole game. So we got an answer to that question. It was not the full game.
Yep, that's the first answer. It wasn't the full game, and apart from that, you can actually beat what was offered to you in 3 minutes or so.
If you know where to go and
Yeah.
what to take. Yeah.
But we are a week away from the full release.
Yeah.
So if you try the demo, which we didn't, and it really impressed you, just go out there, cash out your hard-earned money, and enjoy.
Is it at full price?
Slightly lower than the full price.
Okay. Um. All right. Yeah. Well, speaking of cashing out your money, you know who cashed out a lot of money?
I know. Do you
Yeah.
want me to reveal a secret to the whole
It's
gaming community out there?
Please do.
It's everyone's favorite in the company of the year, Activision Blizzard. After
Were
what
were they named worst company of the year?
I don't really know if they were named the worst company, but
That's
if you
Microsoft.
just
That's EA every time. No.
yep,
Yeah.
you can't beat EA.
No. At being bad, no, you cannot.
I know, it actually requires. It's not that easy to remain the worst. You really
Yeah.
have to try.
Yeah. Or don't.
I mean, if you
Um.
don't try, at least something will improve. But if you keep
Oh yeah.
trying to be worse, the worst, just don't get it.
So Activision Blizzard has fired, or their financial manager and some other manager has left the company, and now they found someone new. And this guy must be very smart, or I don't know what. He got a lot of money.
Precisely, he got $15 million divided in two parts. Uh, well, basically, his salary equals to $900,000 per year, which is roughly about eight, seven, 80,000 per month. More okay, a little bit less.
Yeah. Okay.
Plus $3.2 million in cash, plus
In
11,
cash.
yeah,
Did
in
they
cash,
come? Did
like a
someone come
signing
in with a
bonus.
duffel bag and like, here you go?
That's what they said. I mean,
Okay.
apparently not real cash money, but you know what I mean.
Hmm.
And then he got additional 11.2 or so uh, in company's share, which are tied to the company's performance, so they can evaluate or devaluate throughout the time, depending on how the company is doing financially.
Nice. So you're a student and you studied business.
Yes,
Uh,
I'm still doing business and economics.
what does a financial manager do?
Well, he's the CFO, which means for Chief Financial Officer.
Hmm.
That's first of all. Secondly, he basically should have the whole overview of the company's finances and giving directions or giving recommendations where to mm, cut the spendings, what what are the expected or projected numbers for the upcoming year. So obviously all the people are reporting to him, so he's the man behind the curtain who should know how the company's overall health, let's call it this, sitting, and also trying to do the whole talk with their investors.
Okay. So if a game gets cancelled, he's the one who makes the call.
They will definitely be going to him to know his opinion. That's for sure. He
Yeah.
might not be the final. He might not get the final say in the whole matter, but yeah, he's there for sure.
And he's also is he also like mm, adjusting budgets to different teams or studios within Activision or
If not directly him, then people working in the organizational chart.
yeah.
But yeah,
Okay, so that's
well, it all that is happening in terms of finance should come down in the final steps to him. But
okay.
here is the problem. There are several issues with it. First of all, even the one of the founders. First of all, I read numerous articles regarding what's the future of Activision, where are they heading, and not long ago, a former, well, currently former founder of the Activision Blizzard stepped down from the CEO position, but he remained in the company as a strategic advisor. That's what his function was. But after seeing how they hired the CFO, he just completely abandoned the company.
Okay, that's weird.
I know it is.
So I guess he was not advising them not to do it.
Yeah,
Hmm. Do we know if this guy ever worked for someone else in the industry?
I'm sure there is a reputation around him.
Yeah. I mean, you don't get that much money for this is your first job in the field.
Definitely not.
Oh yeah.
Unless you have certain connections out there.
Yeah. So he's either very, very, very smart or he knows the right people.
But what's even more disappointing is that I'm not trying to uh, like everybody's work is important to some extent, but he's not there developing the games or coming with an creative ideas how to improve the games. And so it's the developers themselves, and they should be the first to get a um, increase in their salaries.
True, but that's also true for
I know, I
every
know, I know, I know.
it's always the guy on top counting the money and whatever falls down from his table you get. Yeah. All right. Is there anything more we want to add?
Just that it completely goes against Activision or Blizzard's last articles where they literally shut down, or they announced canceling several esports uh, matches or even competitions, stating that they are trying to cut the cost. And
They needed money for this guy.
now we know the reason.
Yeah. But these Blizzard things, they're always a big deal now. Like competitions in Overwatch. Isn't that always pretty big?
Yep, that's what I'm talking about.
In what StarCraft 2. Those are some of the biggest things. Yeah. Anyhow, good luck to you, dude. Don't fuck it up. Don't greenlight too many mobile games, or I will come get you.
I mean, in the same report, or there are several reports tied to these ones saying that Blizzard is actually preparing a mobile game from every single IP they got.
Yeah. Oh my god, I hate it.
No, no,
Speaking of, Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
I just want.
Speaking of, this is the thing. You wanted us to do it live, so we now look like idiots
No, we
because
don't. We are just having fun,
there's no rehearsal on here. We just go,
and that's the beauty of it. That's you just keep going, and
and you get this. You know, we get something out of this hour or so of talking. Speaking of mobile games,
yes.
EA
Mhm.
has announced. Wait, no. Someone has dug out that EA has canceled another project and it is being downscaled because apparently it took up too much money and it would take too much time to release it. So is is this the point where I think we spoke last time or a couple of weeks ago when these days studios hire more and more and more people and the budgets get bigger and Rockstar takes 7 years of 100-hour weeks of work hours to finish a game. Is it now a time where games are too expensive to make? So they actually, you hear all the time that talented folk leave big studios because they get too much pressure and shit, and they start small studio and then they make great games. What was the question?
The question. Well, first of all, let
Where did,
let's share with us what game was cancelled in the first place because you said EA title.
it was I'm supposed to say it. It was
Yeah,
uh it was an unnamed Star Wars project. Was it
yeah,
unnamed? It
I
was.
believe so.
So at first this thing started as the Amy Hennig game
Yep.
at Visceral, which took too much time and too much money. So EA said, Visceral, nice working with you. Take your shit and go.
Yeah, I
Amy
got that.
Hennig started her own studio that's now doing something.
I'm sure they are
Yeah,
developing something.
we could Google it up, but you can also Google it up yourself.
We are not here to provide all the answers.
We here ask
Don't
questions
worry.
that we lose in the middle of the sentence, and then the assets were given to EA. Is this Vancouver? EA Montreal.
Let me have a look.
It was somewhere in Canada,
Yeah, Vancouver.
Vancouver. So EA Vancouver takes these assets from Visceral, and now apparently it still takes too much time and too much work hours and too much money. So EA is like, you guys are lucky, you don't need to go home, but stop working on this. So are they making now a Star Wars card game for mobile?
So what did you just say? Star Wars card game? I mean, I'm getting the feeling that card games are almost like over us. You don't see many Star games, or even the Hearthstone
Yeah.
isn't that popular anymore.
By the way, there are Star Wars mobile games. There's like whatever, you collect heroes and
Yeah, I tried it, uninstalled immediately.
yeah. Also, speaking of this, not just EA, Ubisoft did this as well to a project that was announced 3 years ago.
I read more information regarding this, and actually, the project wasn't announced at all. It was
Wasn't.
only a teaser in the Watch Dogs 2.
Okay.
And again, it should have been an open world universe or exploring game kind of Mass Effect, but after how circumstances turned out to be with latest Mass Effect, they were either too afraid or their priorities are somewhere else. It's really tough to judge. I'm sometimes I just would like to see
Yeah.
what's
What?
happening inside because apparently at some point. a decision has been made that yes, we are going for it. So let's put all our people across different countries to start working on it, and suddenly after 2 or 3 years, you'll just basically you just waste so much money.
Yeah, but that's why they give the assets, or specifically EA gave the assets to EA Vancouver from Visceral. They didn't, burn the servers down. They gave them the work that was done and told them to scale it down.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying, but then again, the wages still
Yeah,
represent
yeah, of
majority.
course. Also, so what's the future of Star Wars at EA at this point?
Well, there are several updates. When the news was firstly spotted in the news, and the yep, just like you said, EA Vancouver took over. They said they are doing another Star Wars game of a smaller scale. It isn't confirmed whether this is the same project just reduced down or scaled down due to the too much ambition, or if it is something completely different. But Disney has started looking into it, and apparently there are certain rules, or they have uh, fixed deliverables that they have to do, and Disney isn't satisfied with the outcome. So if
Like,
they step in, the Star Wars might be lost forever.
no, but they can. I don't know what's the deal between Disney and EA, but could Disney potentially take Star Wars away from EA?
Yep, because
Good answer.
it just sheds negative light on it.
Yeah, because
It's second game of Star Wars nature. If you think
and
about it,
yeah,
within 3 years to be
yeah, and the
canceled.
only things they released were uh, Battlefront and Battlefront 2,
Yep.
which were
Uh,
passable at best.
Battlefront One died pretty much a month after the launch,
Yeah,
as it
and
did, and
Battlefront 2 it only lived because of all the negative hype. Like people hated it. It was the whole shenanigans with the loot boxes or whatever. Belgium decided to step in. So I mean, if you're Disney, you don't want your brand to be associated with gambling, and definitely not a brand they paid $5 billion to a fat guy somewhere in Texas for. You know?
I mean, yeah, it's probably I'll link my answer to your original question, which was if the games are getting more and more expensive to make.
Mhm.
Obviously, the cost of the cost of technology is decreasing, but at the same time, it's still people, it's still creative minds who are doing this, and they are expecting as the higher standard, as there is a higher standard of living, this let's call it the fixed increase in their wages and salaries. And with projects becoming more and more ambitious, people want really complex things within the game to satisfy all their needs.
But do we really?
It's always a discussion between how the things are viewed from the developer standpoint and versus how the players are react to what they saw.
Yeah. So is Star Wars game in what's the guys that made Titanfall?
Response studios.
Respawn. Yeah, Respawn's doing Jedi Fallen Order, no?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So is that game also in danger?
Yeah, just Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah.
Is Respawn owned by EA?
Yep. Or at
So
least they are the publisher. So
so you remember when they launched Titanfall 2? EA did a very dick move, considering Respawn. They released Titanfall 2
I
at the
know.
same time of Battlefield 1. Of these two games, Titanfall 2 clearly the better game, and also with less shady business practices. I think everything was free except skins.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and there was some DLC Titan you could buy. I'm not really sure, but that was a really solid game. Had a good story, great multiplayer. It died because it launched same in the same week or same.
Yeah, I believe it was right in between a week after Call of Duty and a week before
Yeah,
Battlefield.
it was like,
Right
what?
there in that spot.
Yeah, like dudes,
They
like,
think they just sabotage their own
yeah,
game.
from a studio that, yeah, it is new. It basically only did Titanfall 1 and Titanfall 2, but those guys came from uh, Infinity Wars. They made Modern Warfare 4, and they made some of the other Call of Duties.
Is there Modern Warfare 4?
Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. That's how I know it to be named.
Okay.
Uh, so these guys are great. They're talented. They have a great track record. Titanfall 1 was eh, and now they're making a Star Wars action adventure game. Which that's one of the reasons why I didn't put it in my most. What if I can only buy 5 games in this year? Because
Oh, I see.
because is it a first-person shooter? Probably not. Do these guys do something else than first-person shooters, or are they known for doing anything else? Not really.
No, I still remember how they revealed it was basically just the guy, head of response, sitting in the audience, and he just stood up like, "By the way, we are doing a new Star Wars game." That's how
Yeah.
EA during the EA conference that the new Star Wars was
So does
revealed.
EA care about Respawn, or do they care about Star Wars even?
I think better suited question is, does EA care about the EA?
Well, yeah, they care to be the worst company in the world over and over again. Ah, my God. So, uh, will this game come out even, or will we in a couple of weeks say, EA canceled it? Because if it's supposed to come out this year, there was no trailer yet. There's no screenshots.
No, we didn't get
There's
anything
nothing.
at all. Um, I think it will be postponed until 2020.
You think? Okay. All right. Do you have any hopes for that game at all? I think you had it on your list, no?
Definitely not.
No, you
there,
didn't.
there wasn't Star Wars in my list.
Okay. Yeah, you don't like Star Wars.
Not the hugest fan.
All right. You know who's the not hugest fan of Rockstar?
Famous people.
Famous people. And who else?
Pinkertons, right now.
Yes. Yes. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, sure, I loved it. So again, after the last controversy with the model, which was or who was the main, mm, basically she was on the loading screen even, and her model appeared within the game. She sued the Star Wars. She sues the Star Wars. She sued the Grand Theft GTA 5 back in the day. Right now, roughly.
Oh, not the model. It was Lindsay Lohan sued them, no, because she thought this must be me.
Yeah, now I remember. I just didn't
It
know
was
the name.
definitely not her. I don't know what she was smoking back then, but it was probably crack.
No, she's so blonde.
Mm,
It
Uh,
looks like she was going for it.
she sees a blonde. Must be me.
Well, anyway, moving on to the real discussion right now. The Pinkertons, which is to really a well-known detective agency, I believe, has sued Microsoft over
Microsoft.
Jesus has sued Rockstar Games over unauthorized access or even unauthorized use of their name in the Red Dead Redemption 2.
So did do yeah. Uh, so Rockstar apparently used their name and their trade. Apparently, Pinkerton Detective Agency is trademarked, and Rockstar was kind of forgot to ask them for usage of this trademark.
No, it's not like they did not have enough time. Like
Yeah,
7 years is
you know,
again magical number seven.
yeah. Who has time in 7 years to ask someone and pay them for this? So what does Detective Pinkerton Detective Agency now want from Rockstar?
Well, they filed um, uh, uh, well,
Hmm.
they filed a thing.
A thing.
If you don't know the word, just use the thing. That's the most universal word that you know.
Uh-huh.
Basically, anybody who could guess it's money
Hmm.
and royalties. Yeah, here it is. They
Ah,
demanded royalties.
demanded royalties from Rockstar. So what's the chances you think that they're actually gonna win this?
Um, Looking right now at the article, the Pinkertons have been used several times in the past games of different of different game studios. So and nobody really gave a damn about it.
Hmm.
But when it comes down to Rockstar and their amazing, unbelievable sales, suddenly they started to really care.
Do
Wonder
we know
why?
how much Red Dead sold at this point?
I believe it might be 20 million.
Ooh, that's nice. And Red Dead Online is not doing that hot.
Yeah, Resident Online is not picking up at all.
Yeah, they still got GTA Online, so they're good. Um,
Well, it had 17 million copies sold in November,
nice. They could be at 20 at this point.
without a doubt.
So do you remember maybe half a year ago something like this happened with The Witcher,
Yeah,
where the writer,
Andrei Sapkowski, that's his name.
yeah, he was like, guys, this thing is doing pretty well. I want some more money.
And they said, like, basically no, because I look more into the detail, and he sold uh, all his property for the novels and for the books, or and licensing basically for 3 games, about 15,000 euros, which is
Yeah,
really
because
nothing.
he thought it will,
It will
it will,
fail, yeah.
yeah. He's like, I'm getting a pretty good deal, and now he wants like a million or however much money. So yeah, so success brings these kinds of people as well, which you know he's some old dude who writes fantasy books. Like, what did he know? But still, don't make an asshole out of yourself. If you read the books, like he also must have took some cues from the games because at the first the books, Geralt is Geralt and he has fighting monsters, da da da. But in the later books, all of a sudden he's carrying, two swords with him, which he did also before, but he, in the first books he never carried them on his person, and now all of a sudden, oh, he has two swords on his back. Like, what? You, you're also stealing from what they did to your property. Well, is that stealing? Taking
Uh,
inspiration. You know, it would be it would be almost too realistic if they had in Witcher your horse carry the other sword because yeah, technically in real life you will not be able to carry two longswords with you.
Yeah, true.
It would be like Red Dead, where you need to go take your gun out of the saddle. So, and that would be really annoying in The Witcher, where you're riding your horse, fighting a bunch of people, and there and a mermaid.
Games are meant to be an escape from reality, so
Yeah,
you can
and
only put so much authenticity in the game to make it real, but then you get to the point where too much real becomes a roadblock for you.
yeah. What was it a problem for you that you had to go to your horse to change your weapons?
Not really.
Yeah, the horse was always pretty much with you. But you know what was the problem? If I'm thinking about it, when certain missions they changed your weapons.
Oh yeah.
So I usually was running around with a shotgun and a rifle, and then all of a sudden in this mission I have a bow. Like what?
Like, where is my stuff?
Where's my stuff and where's my horse? Yeah.
Yeah, I encountered a situation where uh, we we were supposed to go somewhere. He was like, "Okay, let's hitch your horse here, and let's come here on foot." So we sneaked in, shot a bunch of guys, and then we were like, "Call your horse." But my horse was all the way there. He was too far. He was too far away from my range.
Oh, you didn't bond with it enough.
Me and bonding.
Yeah.
But
All
then,
right.
still, the Witcher series on Netflix is in production, and I'm sure he made he didn't repeat the same mistake.
Yeah. And I'm sure what's his name? He's strong enough to carry two swords on
Henry
his back.
Henry Cavill,
Yeah, he's a buff guy. He can definitely carry two swords on his back.
former Clark Kent.
Oh, is it done? He's signed off.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I didn't hear that it was confirmed.
Well, maybe it isn't.
Okay. Anyway,
No, here it's all you say is a subject to change, so nothing we say is really 100%.
yeah, we should make a hey, dear fans, like if you want, make an intro for this show. We could play. Could we play an intro? Can we make that happen on Google Talk? Like, here's a little video, and then we start talking.
Of course.
We will just hold up our phone in front of the camera, and the video is gonna play on it. This is the intro. Yeah,
That's the future now.
that's our future.
Let's make it unique.
Yeah, this is just low budget. We have like zero budget. Everything we're using, we got or found. Anyway, is there anything more we wanted to talk about today?
Let me check.
Yeah, I'll let you check.
Thank you. And don't forget,
Yeah, we could also have like intro music. If some of you, whoever's watching this in 2025, and we still don't have an intro, feel free to write a song for us.
Oh, a song or
Yeah.
a poem.
Like we need a jingle, no?
Jingle.
No, we need a.
I know what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Really, the last point. So, Sony, after a lot of pressure, has opened up a crossplay beta. And probably as all of you may know, Fortnite was the first game to appear there. But right now, there was a second game added to the library of crossplay, which is geez, Rocket League. I wanted to say Rockstar League. I was like, what?
Rockstar League. That's their next game. That's what they're working on. Rockstar League of ping pong. Yeah. So this is crossplay between Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because
No, actually, I believe it's crossplay between all the platforms out there.
even
PlayStation,
Switch.
yep, PlayStation just wasn't there. Uh, was basically the only one missing, and right now, when they said we are cool with it, let's open the options for crossplay to second game. Now people can really match. Doesn't depend where they are coming from.
Okay. But they had crossplay with PC. No, on PlayStation you could have played. You played Paragon with PC players. We played. You could have played DC Universe Online with PC players. You could have played PlanetSide 2 with PC players. There was games you were playing with PC players. I believe Rocket League you could play with PC players. No.
There is a chance, but then again, here you never know. Nothing for sure.
Yeah, especially on this show. Everything we say might be a lie.
Couldn't say it better.
It,
Might be a lie.
yeah, on the intro, except for the disclaimer that it could say this based on real events. All
Based
right.
on real events, live. Well, so I really believe the cross-platform will become a thing.
Yeah.
Like moving forward into the future, I don't see a single reason if you have your games. And gaming is all about bonding or making friendship.
Sure.
So there is, so I don't see a reason why uh, friends who own different consoles or even a PC can't play
How can you
the
be a
game.
friend with someone who owns a different console or PC?
How couldn't you, or how
Yeah.
can't you?
So, do you think next gen, when Nintendo is winning, it's their turn, I believe. Will they be the one who's not allowing crossplay? Because last gen it was Xbox who didn't want crossplay, and this gen, and they were winning 99% of the time. And this gen, it's Sony who doesn't want crossplay, and they're winning all the time
All the time. Yeah,
since the beginning.
I don't really see Nintendo rejecting crossplay in the future
Why not?
because it would be against their belief to open up third-party games to come to their, and actually developers are picking up and they are shoving in trees because a lot of great titles either have released or are um, expected to release in the future.
Yeah, but do you remember the Nintendo policy? Like they're kind of, I want to say, don't want to say backwards thinking, but they're kind of stuck
Every
in
time.
10 years ago. They don't really want to allow, or they didn't want to really allow let's plays of their games to be shown on.
Yeah, I know.
They
You
were
couldn't even
blocking it.
you couldn't even stream it, or if you stream it, there was a high probability of copyright.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard about it.
I think they got a little bit better
Yeah,
recently, but maybe that's the kind of thinking still there. All right,
it might.
all right, okay. Let's get on with it.
Let's go then, which concludes almost our podcast, except our,
Episode whatever this was, 13.
I believe it's 12.
No, it's not 12. Last week was 12.
Okay, then I'm leaving.
Did you
And
name this
I'm
12?
continuing. Yes, that's what I told you in the beginning. The
Well,
whole
you will have
thing,
to rename it to 13. And
the
don't
whole
forget to put the social links in the description.
yeah, since all the listeners out there, I will have the premier privilege of editing.
Yeah. So if the audio version is shit, then it's his fault.
Thanks.
There's like only 8 minutes of quiet on the soundtrack.
Okay, let's
I
get
will
down
start
to
my
the
10
business.
hours countdown.
Yeah, please do so. I got amazing character for you.
Oh, I'm still stopped at 9:52.
You didn't reset it
No.
since the last. I see you getting being really busy.
Do you reset your timer on your phone?
Of course,
What?
I use my phone all the time. I just don't like
For
unfinished
timing
business.
shit?
Yeah, I just don't like unfinished business. So,
Okay.
so ready?
Yeah.
Let me open Notepad. As usual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
See, see, Notepad
you.
is also your program of choice for editing.
Yeah,
Uh,
because it opens up as a window within a window and doesn't take the whole desktop. You know.
could you not? Can you not do that with? Can you not do that with Word?
Yes, you can, but you have to
You have to
whatever.
what?
Let's get going.
Okay. Starting now.
Yep,
10
please.
minutes. Is it a man?
Yes,
A human?
yes,
White?
yes,
Alive?
yes.
Okay. Uh,
Keep going.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
got
yeah.
amazing. Please.
Is he a video game character?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not
A
a
main
porn star.
character.
Yes,
Playable.
yes.
Shit.
Ooh,
I'm doing very
didn't
good.
expect to be so good.
Uh, does he appear in more than one game
Yes,
as a main playable character?
yes,
Does he appear in 3 or more games?
yes.
Is it exactly 3?
No,
Fuck. And is he always a playable character?
not sure.
Okay. Okay. Uh, did the last game of the series come out on this generation of console?
Yes,
Did it come out on console?
yes.
Multi-platform?
No,
Exclusive?
yes,
Japanese system?
no,
Xbox?
yes.
A white guy that's a main character. Okay, okay.
Okay.
I had to come a little bit closer. Uh, is it what? What's a what's a okay?
What is what? What is a system in Fallout?
Funny, very funny.
Even in
Uh,
76. Time to get back, baby.
we have to eventually.
Yeah.
I will have to download it.
Did you already delete it from the
I think
system?
I installed it because I needed to make space for Spider-Man DLC. Uh, would, okay, is he a buff dude? Is he like big muscly guy? Okay, okay. Does the game run on Unreal Engine? No, 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 no. It's not Unreal Engine. Is it Unreal
Yes.
Engine? Is
Yes.
it?
Yes, it does.
Ah, ah.
Ah,
Is it?
shit.
Is it? Is it? Is it Gears of War?
Yes.
Is it Marcus Phoenix?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good. This is a short one. It was
Yeah,
easy.
there were only 3 no's.
Yeah. You took last week, I guess, the character from the game as well. I guessed
No,
Coltrane.
no.
Yeah, I guessed
No,
Coltrane.
what? Your memory doesn't serve
Yeah,
you
it was not him. It was not the correct guy, but I guessed him. It's
Yes.
that's the black
Oh,
guy from
oh.
that's the black guy from Gears of War.
Yeah, last week it was Carl Johnson.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Uh.
Congrats on your success.
Yeah.
Now for the following 2 months, I don't get a word.
Now you will get to ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, seriously, I need to sit down and start. I'll just put together a list of 100 most frequently asked questions.
You know what? I used to play this game with in like 3 jobs ago. One of my coworkers, we used to guess sports people. That's where I learned to ask good questions. Go get your father and play with him.
I don't think how many sports people he would know.
Okay, so electricians or whatever. Is he not an electrician?
Sort of.
Yeah.
But
All right. This was Gamer 101 podcast episode 13 with the unofficial Bethesda podcast.
you didn't forget. Thank you.
Yeah. See ya next week.
See you next week and have a great gaming.
Have a great what?
Gaming.
Have a great gaming, okay?
What did you say? What do you think I said? Have a great gaming. Gaping.
Have a
No,
great
let's
have a great
don't do
gaming.
this.
That doesn't even make sense. Have a great game.
Not all,
Great gaming. A single great gaming.
and all the things that we talk about here.
Yeah, I think too much.
Overthinking.
Can you stop the recording now?
Of course.